let's get right to it then. Let's get right to it then, chat. How we doing? How y'all doing today? What's good with it, bruh? Hey, Saturday night. Look, we in the peak aura formation. It's Saturday night. We having a good time. Y'all know what we do. Yesterday I was supposed to get on, but I didn't want to bring on the bad vibe. I just didn't have the aura, so I ended up, going out and just enjoying myself. Sometimes you really need to gather your ideas and gather your vibes to really, elevate. And, yesterday I didn't think I was in that peak elevation energy. I did not think I was in that peak elevation energy, chat. So, I just kind of decided I'm going to take a day off, So here we are back at it again with another fucking fire aura formation. Look, I really hope you're having a good day. And an even better day now that your boy's here. So get you a good hydration drink. Because look, I'm spilling on myself already. We getting real drippy tonight. Hey, iced out. Yes, sir. Look, chat. I hope I can entertain you this afternoon. Hit the fucking follow button. Hit the fucking notifications if you with the vibes, because look, we just chilling and, hitting the next level. Because right now, bro, I'm really needing that extra energy. I'm really needing to, really up my status as a content creator, I really need to lock in for real. So recently, I've just been going through some shit myself, personal, real life shit, so I've been kind of chilling and kind of, been low energy the last few streams. So I was like, let me see what I could do today. It's Saturday night. Let me see if I can entertain the boys. Let me know, chat. Throw the W's in the fucking chat. Hit the like button. Hit the fucking comment section if you really think I'm bringing that entertainment value. And if I'm not, it is what it is. It is what it is. But look, I've been just chilling, kind of, organizing myself, just, writing a little bit more. Cause me, chat, look, I got to get back to the stage. I've kind of, used this week to kind of decompress and really, elevate myself, really get onto a new era, I guess. I'm really trying to get into a new zone. I think, for the last couple of weeks, I've just been out of it. I feel like I've not been really my top tier peak elevation, So I've kind of gotten a little bit better with it. I've kind of gotten a little bit more organized and really gathered my, writing material. Because right now, bro, I feel like I've been lacking on the writing aspect of things just because of the fact, bro, I've just not put in the effort. I've not put in the effort into writing as much as I did, before. Or I'm sorry, I didn't put as much effort to the writing before as I do now. So, when I went to the mic on Tuesday at Comedy Arena, that was, hey, look, hey, it was a good welcome back. I got to chill with one of the newer comedians, bro. I don't know, like I like talking to the youngins, let them know, how the game be, even though we're at the same open mic bombing, Look, I think, you got to make friends in the community and make friends in the comedy community, because like at the end of the day, bro, it's a good way to off yourself if you ain't got no friends. You're gonna be going bombing, and then after you get off, you're like, fuck, what am I doing, bro? What the fuck am I doing with myself? So sometimes you have some homies that'll hold you to it. They'll be like, hey, you good, bro? I seen you do better. Obviously this wasn't your best set, but we seen you do better. So, they let me, kind of elevate myself and get myself together. But at the end of the day, you got to have some good people around you to hold you accountable and hold you, you know, when you're down bad. You know, when you're really down bad, you need some good friends to really get you, you know, back to where you were, back to baseline. Because sometimes, bro, every person falls. You know, every person has, you know, bad days. And sometimes you need good friends, good people around you to really keep you going. So, you know, I hope you having a good day. And, you know, I think we should right fucking now. Get into it, bro. Because I got this fucking video. Buckets. I can't even fucking say nothing. Golf cart. You know them, bro. $1 billion bubble that almost broke Nate Shot, bro. Hey, I haven't heard Nate Shot's name in a fat minute. So let's go ahead and get to the fucking reaction.
Promised it would be the next NFL or NBA.
Ooh,
and with that promise came billions of dollars. Investors were writing blank checks, funding sprawling LA headquarters, superstar contracts, and Hollywood-level production teams. And at the center of it all was Nate Shot, a gamer who went from flipping burgers at McDonald's to building an empire. With 100 Thieves, that empire exploded. A-list
bro, it was all over the news. The 100 Thieves, this shit was like all over the news. But now I don't hear about it much. You know, it's like it's kind of just like disappeared, bro. I feel like everything has a bubble, and right now, bro, AI and comedy are two biggest bubbles, bro. I'm waiting till like comedy kind of deflates, even though it's gonna hurt. But you know, it's like the 2008 financial crisis, bro. Whoever survives, they thrive. You know, whoever survives the fucking initial bubble burst, like where people are like, bro, comedy ain't what it is. Because right now, bro, comedy's in the limelight, AI's in the limelight. If you throw AI on any fucking company, you're getting $100 million, you know?
The trajectory of esports continued to point straight towards the moon. But what no one seemed to realize was that this was the height of a $1 billion bubble, and bubbles only have one destiny: to pop.
Ooh,
now, to understand all of this, we really need to go back to the beginning of the bubble, all the way back to 2008. Growing up in the Chicago suburbs, Matthew Hagg loved to compete. He craved that rush of being on a team, of fighting for a win. The only problem, when it came to traditional sports, he just wasn't built for it. He was never the fastest or the most athletic. He really struggled to find his place on a team. But deep down, that fire to compete never went away. He just needed the right place to prove himself. And he found it in a black and green box his parents brought home one day. An Xbox 360. For the first time he loaded up Halo 2, the physical world and its limitations.
Hey, Xbox better.
Boom, boom. That's the 2-for-1, baby.
Here, skill wasn't about how fast you could run or how high you could jump. It was about strategy and reflexes. He devoured every competitive shooter he could get his hands on, from Halo to Gears of War and finally to Call of Duty.
And Nate Shot, he's sitting main hall, looking around. He's looking to pick up a kill. He's just standing there still. Oh, and he gets shot.
Gaming quickly morphed from a hobby into a full-blown obsession, and it turns out,
bro, I want it to be a fucking. Why is the controller even on, bro? I hate videos that don't have the controller on. I can kind of see the light, but I cannot tell for sure if that's on. It doesn't look on. But honestly, bro, I feel like I want it to be a Call of Duty or some kind of fucking game, bro. Rad Brad, the fucking gaming guy, dude. He inspired me back in the day. I was like, bro, I'm gonna make gaming content. I was so trash. I didn't get nowhere with it, but still, bro, I was hooked.
Soon, crushing his friends just wasn't good enough. He needed a real challenge, and that search led him to the early, gritty world of online tournaments. Before long, he'd outgrown the bedroom grind and was standing alongside some of the best players in the country. With his team, Mob Genesis, he landed a 4th place finish at the 2009 MLG National Championship.
Oh shit.
For the first time, it felt like he had discovered his thing, somewhere he could focus that drive. It was a future Matt could actually see himself chasing. But here's the thing, not everyone around him agreed. His mom was especially worried about the hours he poured into the screen. And honestly, back in 2008, she had a point. Esports was barely even a word, let alone an industry. There weren't $1 million Fortnite winners, no headlines talking about gamers turning passion.
Yeah, bro, I was a gamer before it was fucking cool, bruh.
Careers. To a parent, 8 to 10 hours a day on Xbox didn't seem like training for the future. It looked like a problem. So his mom laid down the law. He had to get a real job, and he ended up at the local McDonald's.
Hey, that's where all great start, bro. All great start at the fucking burger station, bro.
The goal was to teach him responsibility and pull him away from the Xbox, but it had the exact opposite effect. For the first time, Matt had his own money, a budget for better monitors, new controllers, and tournament entry fees. The job that was meant to end his gaming career was now funding it.
Xbox, PlayStation 3. Xbox,
PlayStation 2.
And working the counter in the drive-thru window taught him something even more valuable than the game itself: how to communicate. That shy kid who struggled to find his place was now learning how to connect with people, how to be confident, and how to express himself. And those were the skills that would unlock a path even bigger than
Bell
gaming. Beginning with the moment he pointed a camera at himself, hit record, and introduced the world to Nadeshot.
YouTube, how the you doing? This is Nadeshot.
By June 2010, Matt, now known online as Nadeshot, had become one of the rising stars of Call of Duty. And just as his name was breaking through, another force was taking shape.
Optic
A team
Gaming.
called Optic Gaming. Optic was the brainchild of Hector Hex Rodriguez. Hex's eye for talent went beyond pure mechanics. In Nadeshot, he identified a relentless drive that he believed was the true mark of a future champion. So Hex took a chance on it. He banked on the idea that with this kind of work ethic, the top-tier skill would eventually follow. He brought Nadeshot onto the team, believing that a player who wanted it that badly could truly go the distance. But desire doesn't always translate to dominance. Once inside the team, the brutal reality set in. Nadeshot was playing catch-up against a stacked roster. In the high-speed chess of competitive Call of Duty, he was a step behind, a fraction too slow.
We are actually going to start things off with Nadeshot, who immediately gets taken out.
He became the easy scapegoat in the scrims, and the primary target for opponents on stage. For Nadeshot, every match was an audition, and every mistake felt like a verdict confirming the one thing he
Me
couldn't
at open
shake.
mics.
He wasn't good enough. The pressure built with every disappointing tournament result until the team's chemistry finally fractured. Heading into the 2011 season, Hex had to make one of the toughest calls a manager can make. The experiment was over. Nadeshot was off the competitive roster. So how does a kid who can't make an esports roster go on to lead a billion-dollar industry? Well, I'm getting to that. But first, a word from our sponsor. So here's my pros to play with. Gamer13. Hardly anyone would. Unless you were consistently winning, there was no money. Just a few $1,000s would be split between entire teams. Unless you were consistently winning, there was no money to live on. And outside of the diehard community, hardly anyone was watching. Esports was at a crossroads. Competitive results alone wasn't enough to build a future. To survive, organizations had to find a way to capture attention beyond the stage. Platforms like YouTube were exploding, and for the first time, players could reach audiences directly. A new playbook was emerging. If teams could blend competition with entertainment, they could show the stories and personalities behind the gamer tags. Then maybe they could create something bigger than just tournaments. That's exactly what Hex saw. He knew wins would come and go, but what could last, what could build a legacy, was a community. And to build that community, you needed someone fans could actually connect with. That someone was Nadeshot. He wasn't the flashiest player in the lobby, but he had something rare: charisma. Where most pros were quiet or awkward, Nate could talk to a camera like he was talking to a friend. He was already uploading videos, sharing his perspective, cracking jokes. His personality made people care, and to Hex, that was gold. So instead of letting him fade out after leaving the starting roster, Hex convinced Nadeshot to stay. Just not as a competitor, but as the face of Optic.
Hey, that's low-key lit. He was a salesman, bro.
From that moment on, Nate went all in.
Pause.
He flooded YouTube with content.
Pause of doom and despair. Pause.
Streams from tournaments, and even vlogs filmed from his own room.
YouTube, how the you doing?
Nadeshot was laser focused on content, and as his audience continued to grow, so did the esports world.
You guys turned Call of Duty Black Ops into the biggest entertainment launch of
I remember when they fucking memed this thing and called it Call of Duty Black Cocks. Pause.
all time. And what record did it break? Not Avatar or Batman. It's broke the record set 1 year earlier by Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Over the past few years, the Call of Duty franchise had been building bigger with every release, each new title breaking sales records and drawing in more players. By 2011, Activision was ready to turn the hype into something the gaming world had never seen. At the center of it all was a $1 million tournament, the biggest prize pool in the history of Call of Duty.
Welcome to the first Call of Duty XP.
Call of Duty XP in Los Angeles looked like a tournament on paper, but once you stepped inside, it felt like a full-blown festival.
That looks fun as
Thousands
hell.
of fans packed
Low-key chat, imagine if I go to one of those and stream, bro. I went to fucking Comic-Con and streamed, and that was like honestly one of my most popular streams, and I really enjoyed that shit myself. So imagine if I go to one of these and fucking stream, bro. That might be a peak fucking experience.
Massive custom-built arena to see Modern Warfare 3 early, to play paintball on life-size COD maps, celebrities like Russell Westbrook and Nick Swartzen came through, and the whole thing even ended with the Kanye West concert.
What?
It was one of the craziest tournaments gaming had ever seen. The stakes had never been higher, $1 million on the line, with $400,000 going straight to the winning team. Teams from every corner of the world fought for a chance to play under the lights, but after weeks of qualifiers, the field was cut down to just 32 of the very best. Optic was one of them. Then, just days before the tournament began, one of their starters had to drop out. Suddenly, the roster had a gap to fill. So Hex picked up the phone, and the person he called was Nadeshot.
Nadeshot, how are you feeling, buddy?
It's a tough matchup. I'm excited. We're ready to go. Ready to play.
In an instant, the dream he thought he had let go of was back on the table. Optic breezed through the round of 32 all the way to the semifinals match.
That's going to be the win. Optic Gaming advancing to the championship match. But right now, we're going to be playing for $400,000.
And Optic continue to put this pressure on. That's going to be
400.
And Optic
Everybody make 100K is crazy, bro. I'm getting bitches and hoes left and right.
with the first cap ever. All alone. And there you have it. Optic Gaming is your Call of Duty XP 2011 champions.
Nadeshot and Optic were crowned winners on the biggest stage in the history of Call of Duty. In the heat of the celebration, his first instinct was to call home. He told his parents that he had just won $100,000 playing Call of Duty. At first, they were stunned, but when the reality sank in, they finally saw what he had always believed.
Real boy
Gaming could be a real career.
Real YABOIII. You're in college, but you made it very public that you worked at McDonald's. Yeah. For a little while, Nadeshot. You just made $100,000. How does that feel?
I don't want to work at McDonald's anymore.
He quit his job at McDonald's and committed himself fully to competing and creating content. But just as his career really began to take off, tragedy struck back at home. On the morning of October 4th, 2012, he woke up to a missed call from his dad. His mom's health had been declining, and the moment he saw the call, he knew something was wrong. When he called back, it rang a few times, until eventually his dad picked up.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Nadeshot from Optic Gaming, and some of you may have heard in the past couple of days on Twitter, if you follow me or anybody else, that my mom actually passed away at the age of 47.
Damn.
On Saturday night. She died in her sleep. It's kind of a gruesome detail, but
The days that followed were heavy. Family and friends gathered to say goodbye, and Matt was left facing a loss that would stay with him forever. For most people, grief can bring life to a halt. For Matt, it became a kind of engine. The pain didn't go away, but channeling it into his work gave him purpose. Some nights he uploaded just to keep from sitting in the quiet. Every tournament, every late night stream, every piece of content became an outlet, a way to keep moving forward when standing still hurt too much.
What I do want to talk about is life.
I remember I used to do that all the time, bro. I used to. That's the one peak experience I miss about like being in high school, bro. Like, I used to get out of school and, bro, I would just get to the camera right away. No matter how many problems I had in the day, I just didn't have to like worry about nothing. I was like, let me get to the fucking camera. Let me get to fucking making skits, making videos. I just want to make people laugh. I feel like when you have like a good outlet like this where you can genuinely just, you know, release that endorphin, just release that inner, you know, some may call it depression, that inner depression of like, damn, bro, what am I really doing with my life, bro? Like, you can get on here and you get like 1 like on a video and you're like, holy fuck, I'm making it, bro. I made it. Bro, even I get like 30 views on a video with like 1 like. I'm like, Mama, we made it.
And how quickly it can change. When my mom first started getting sick, when I was a young kid, she had seizures, and we never really knew prior to that she had epilepsy. So when she had her first seizure, we didn't really know what it was. And as the years went on and she got sicker and she got sicker, and it just kept rolling and rolling and getting worse and getting worse, and she just, oh man, I didn't think this commentary was going to go here.
My mom was never really understood what I was doing. She never really understood the concept of YouTube and live streaming and winning tournaments. I never really thought that this was gonna come this far. I never really thought that I was gonna make it this far in gaming. And it sucks because I wish she was still around to see where everything has come, because I went through a lot of hardships. I struggled. I didn't know if I was gonna have enough money to pay rent. I didn't know if I should go back to school. I didn't know if I made the wrong decision by quitting my job in school. There was a lot of questions that I had that needed answering soon. But when Black Ops 2 finally did come out, my channel in January and February just started exploding.
The release of Black Ops 2 in November of 2012 really marked the beginning of one of the most iconic eras of gaming. Within 24 hours of the release, Black Ops 2 had cleared $500 million in sales, breaking the list of records too long to count, and proving just how massive gaming had become. Around the same time was the launch of the iPhone 5, and it seemed like myself and just about all
what the fuck? I forgot about that, bro. Like the colorful iPhone motherfuckers had all kinds of colors, bro. I forgot about the iPhone 5. Bro, we're at 16, iPhone 16 or 17 now, bro. It's crazy.
My friends were all of a sudden getting their first smartphones. Wi-Fi was getting better, social media was blowing up, and trick shot montages were playing on loop. With 2013 coming into the picture, Nate Shot moved into the Optic Gaming house, landed a massive sponsorship with Red Bull, and his YouTube channel cleared 250,000 subscribers, then 500,000, then 700,000.
Goals, bro. That's big goals, chat.
150,000, and even 1 million subscribers, where Nate Shot finally claimed his very own gold play button.
They even have my name on there. Look at that. Congratulations for surpassing 1 million subscribers. Optic Nate Shot on YouTube.
The records Black Ops 2 had set the year prior were completely shattered by the release of GTA 5 in September, earning over $800 million day 1 and clearing $1 billion by day 3. And this record still stands today. Now, if Rockstar ever decides to drop GTA 6, maybe that'll change. But speaking of things we're never going to see, in November of 2013, all hopes and dreams of the Xbox 720 were finally put to rest.
720?
Microsoft rolled out their latest and greatest console, the Xbox One. And this was the rebuttal to Sony's PlayStation 4, which, as an Xbox user myself, PS4 definitely won that fight. But either way, both of these consoles took gaming to a whole new level. With social media...
Okay, look here, look. Out of PS3 and PS3 and then Xbox 360. 360 is better. Out of Xbox One and PS4, I think Xbox One is still better. Out of PS5 and Xbox One, PS5 is better. So PS3 was only good because of the fucking free online version. But when they made it paid version, I didn't like it. So Xbox 360 I like, but then PS5 is low key a little bit better than I feel like. I still love my Xbox One. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still a loyal Xbox fan, but still.
Now in the pockets of just about every teenage guy on the planet, Optic vs FaZe Clan became one of the biggest rivalries in all of esports. And with Nate Shot captaining the ship, Optic would go on to win countless tournaments in the Call of Duty franchise, with the pinnacle being at the MLG X Games in 2014.
Ever since I watched Halo 2 as a young kid on MLG, I dreamed about winning an MLG event. And for this to finally happen, plus a gold medal at the X Games, it's literally a dream come true.
But by 2015, the weight of it all had began to show. Competing at the highest level meant living under constant pressure, and being both the face of Optic online and team captain in tournaments made that pressure double. The joy of competition was still there, but so was the exhaustion.
If you guys asked me 2 months ago if I was going to be making a video like this, I would have told you were absolutely crazy. Things change, people change, situations change, so I'm gonna cut straight to the chase. Basically, I am going to be taking a break from competitive Call of Duty, a leave of absence, if you will.
The end with Optic wasn't sudden. It unfolded gradually, as Matt realized his vision no longer fit within the team he'd grown up in. He had helped turn Optic into a powerhouse, but what pulled at him now was the idea of creating something of his own. Leaving meant walking away from teammates who felt like family, and from a chapter that had defined his life. But it also cleared space for the next idea, one that had been quietly building in the background. Nate Shot's move to launch his own gaming org really couldn't have come at a better time, because esports was no longer some basement hobby. It was cocaine for investors, a brand new high everyone wanted a hit of. The money in gaming had grown to be completely outrageous. In 2019, a 16-year-old kid named Booga walked out of the Fortnite World Cup with $3 million in his pocket. $3 million. Tiger Woods won the Masters that same year, one of the biggest sports events on the planet, and made just over $2 million. A teenage kid who barely needed to shave went band for band with Tiger and won.
$3 million richer.
But it wasn't just the prize pools. Teams themselves were inflating like tech startups on steroids. FaZe Clan, born from 4 guys in an Xbox party, all of a sudden got slapped with $1 billion valuation. Traditional sports owners were buying in, celebrities were cutting checks, sneaker brands were collabing on drugs.
I need me a Billy real quick. Chat. Hey, look, hey. One day, bro, I'ma have $1 billion in the bank, a few extra commas in the bank, and I'ma take my loyal viewers, and I'm gonna fly them out and be like, hey, let's go party, my boy. Yes, sir, let's go get lit.
Props. Esports felt like the next NBA, the next NFL, the next goldmine. It was the Wild West of gaming, and every gunslinging investor thought they were about to strike oil. The sponsorship deals were flying, merch was selling out, and Twitch streams were pulling stadium-sized audiences night after night. It was intoxicating. For stars in the esports world at that time, it felt like the ceiling didn't exist, like you couldn't lose. 100 Thieves kicked things off with a $10 million investment from the founder of Rocket Mortgage and owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Dan Gilbert.
I don't want to beat around the bush any more than I have to, so I'm just going to say it, and then we're going to talk specifics. So, my company, 100 Thieves, has received a multi-million-dollar investment from Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers, to help me build my business.
Backed by such a massive investment, Nadeshot was able to immediately secure
100
a spot
T!
in NALCS and sign some of the hottest talent in esports. This was his chance to take everything that he had learned at Optic and build his own vision from the ground up. From the start, Nade made sure his players followed the same blueprint that had made him successful, living in content houses, competing in tournaments, and building their personal
Low-key
brand.
chat, I've disliked content houses, but as I'm making more streaming content, as I'm making more like live stream content, and then also working towards like comedy, I feel like this might be kind of lit, bro. Having like, cause bro, I've lived my life in this apartment for the last like, I don't know, 9 months alone. I like it. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, bro, I like having a roommate low key. Like, cause like at least when you bomb on stage and you get home, you at least have somebody to help you like process the grief of just absolutely shitting the fucking stage, you know? So I feel like if I lived in a content house, bro, I would not stop making content. I would just fucking go overboard. And I see so many fucking people that end up in a content house and they don't really put in the effort to like really go hard. Like, I don't know what y'all doing, bro. But like, if I was in the FaZe Clan, I'm making every day count. If I was in like fucking Optic, I'm going crazy. Any fucking content, I low-key probably should start a content house, bro, and just record porn, you know, just straight fucking gangbang porn. No, I'm playing. Hey, Johnny Sins is low-key the most famous person in the world. No matter what anybody tells me, bro. Johnny Sins, everybody knows that guy is the most famous person in the world. People just don't like to admit it.
Online. And as a result, even when titles were hard to come by for the first several years, that formula helped 100 Thieves quickly establish a devoted fan base. The organization launched an apparel line that instantly took off. Limited drops would sell out in minutes, transforming 100 Thieves from a team into a cultural brand. In 2018, they closed a $25 million Series A funding round co-led by Scooter Braun and Drake, who both became co-owners. More rounds followed, $35 million in 2019, $60 million in 2021.
Damn.
That same year, they unveiled something that became a symbol of the dream itself, a 15,000 square foot headquarters in the heart of Los Angeles. And the vision kept expanding. The roster stacked up with more and more star-studded
Bro,
names.
that's crazy.
Content grew sharper, louder, more ambitious. The merchandise stopped being just merch and started becoming real products people actually wanted in their daily lives. Then came the headline that stopped people in their tracks. Gaming company 100 Thieves is now worth $460 million.
400
Valuation by
million?
Forbes of $460 million for 100 Thieves.
For Matt, it was the full circle moment. The kid who once wore a McDonald's uniform, cashing out fries for minimum wage, was now standing at the helm of one of the most valuable gaming organizations in the world. There was just one problem. This was the height of a billion-dollar bubble, and bubbles only have one destiny. They pop.
Got him. I broke the matrix,
Esports
bro.
as an industry never reached the scale those investors were betting on. Viewership was strong on Twitch, but translating that into reliable revenue streams like ticket sales, sponsorships, and media rights proved to be fragile. Teams were burning through venture capital at an alarming rate, waiting for the market to mature. But it never did. Behind the scenes, the brand that once seemed untouchable was bleeding cash. Sponsorships plateaued, merch revenue dipped as hype cycles cooled. The cost of running multiple competitive rosters, paying star salaries, and maintaining the content machine outpaced what was coming in.
Bro, it's cool to be like, you know, famous and shit, but like, if you don't got the money, bro, like, I'm sure that shit probably stresses the fuck out, bro. Cause like, as you like grow in fame, I feel like you gotta get more security, you gotta upkeep a lifestyle, and it's just like, bro, I feel like the bills just start piling up, bro.
By 2023 and 2024, the layoffs began. Talented staff, the same people who built the culture, were suddenly gone. Whole departments were gutted. What had once been marketed as a lifestyle empire was being stripped out of survival mode. And it wasn't just 100 Thieves. Across esports, the bubble investors inflated was popping. Valuations that once reached hundreds of millions evaporated overnight. For Nadeshot, it was personal. Day after day, he was stuck.
Bro, I just noticed something, bro. What's his name? Adapt is right there. He does not look very happy, bro. This was like, yeah, not the best.
It's millions.
Yeah, Adapt. I'm pretty sure that looks like Adapt, bro. Because he's like, bro, I don't even know half of these people, bro. He was like the OG, and now like he makes content. He looks happy as fuck, but like right here, he looks stressed as fuck. He's like, bro.
For Nadeshot, it was personal. Day after day, he was stuck watching his dream, his people, his vision for what gaming could be unravel under the weight of a broken business model. But the toll wasn't just on the company, it was on him. He had started as a gamer, building his name by being raw, unfiltered, and always present online. But as 100 Thieves grew, he had to trade the controller for boardrooms. Overnight, he was learning how to pitch investors, draft financial projections, and shoulder the responsibility of hundreds of employees. In the process, his identity shifted. The daily uploads slowed, his streams lost the spark, and months would go by in silence without an upload.
Hey, Chad, is that how y'all feel whenever I be fucking going through these, terrible time where I lose that spark, but I'm like, damn, fuck, god damn it. Like, I'm like, low-key a sad boy, bro. Hey, look. I'm wearing red today. I'm like low-key, trying to bring that passion back. I want y'all to understand, the fucking storm will pass.
Fans who once felt like they knew him began to feel that distance. His online presence, once the beating heart of his career, wasn't what it used to be. By the time 100 Thieves went downhill and he stepped down as CEO...
Nike puffer jacket? That shit low-key kind of hard, but I can't tell. That just looks a little weird. It looks cool, but like they have the biggest fucking Nike check on the back. Like, I don't know.
He wasn't just letting go of the company. He was left staring at a version of himself he barely recognized, a community he'd grown distant from. The question was, what came next? Because if he wasn't the CEO of 100 Thieves anymore, who was he? I like to think of life as a pendulum, always in motion, swinging back and forth between the highs and lows. The momentum might carry us to opposite extremes.
I might have to get this for my desk, bro. This shit low-key looks cool as fuck to have.
Moments of triumph. To moments of struggle.
Detroit is irrelevant to it. Overall, the financial and internally. For the third time, layoffs at 100.
Yeah, low key, I just be thinking about this, bro. How many, like, I know it's like all fun and games to, get to the top of YouTube, get to like all the views. But imagine, bro, once people start dropping documentaries, how trash you are, how horrible a person you are, and how you're terrible at gaming. Like all those fucking doubters, bro. That shit low key gotta hurt, bro. He's gotta throw you in like a fucking whirlwind of depression.
But the rhythm never stops, and no matter how far it swings, it always arcs back, returning us to where we began, only with a different perspective than before. For Nadeshot, that meant going back to his roots.
The last 6 months of last year were really hard for me because I thought that I was going to leave the company because the pressure of running the business was just too much. But yeah, building a business is really, really hard, and you need good people around you to be able to do it. It's stressful.
So I told them, I'm like, I need to be like a fan of 100 Thieves again, away from this stress, so I can actually trust the decisions that I'm making and help you guys make informed decisions on everything from here on out without me being tied down to the weight of this business, because I don't know what's right and what's wrong anymore.
So then 100 Thieves kind of turned into this battle now with myself, like I would have when I wasn't interested in taking photos anymore. I don't enjoy doing this right now, and I need to find another creative outlet.
I told my wife, which, at the time, like with a baby on the way, I'm like, honey, I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to be losing my mind for the rest of my life if I don't try it at least once. Just like, I got to try it one time again, just to see what happens.
On October 2nd, 2024, Nadeshot returned to streaming on YouTube after not going live there since 2017. But the decision to stream on YouTube wasn't about starting fresh. It was about being visible to both his core audience and brand new viewers. And that mattered, because only 30 days later, he started streaming 24/7 in what was his first ever subathon.
Boys, we're doing a subathon. We're live 24/7 for the next however long. We'll see you in the chat.
Gentlemen, we made it!
nightmare.
I want to shake your hand real bad.
It had everything: gaming, tattoo sessions, a front row watch party as 100 Thieves, claimed first at Kayson's Showdown 5 tournament, all of which put him on a rocket to being among the top 5 most sub streamers on Twitch. He was back in his element, doing what he does best, and enjoying every second of it. And in the blink of an eye, it all became too real. Nearly $250,000 of revenue for the month. A number most people...
Ikumi? $250,000 a month? Ikumi, can I borrow some?
Almost.
I need a small loan of $1 million.
Streamers won't see in years. By the end of the subathon, Nadeshot had his answer. Streaming was exactly what he was supposed to be doing, and it was proof that this was the future. But that proof didn't come from view counts or paychecks. It came from people. From the chat spamming messages deep into the night, to the clips circulating across social media, to his wife and daughter by his side, everywhere he looked there was support. And for Nade, that realization hit harder than any paycheck ever could.
This is some real ass shit, man, dead ass. 2 years ago, I was in between a rock and a hard place, man. I lost a lot of confidence in like the things that I was doing every day and the decisions I was making, man. And that was kind of like the first time where, with a baby on the way, I just didn't know what the f was going to come next. I really had no idea where content was going to take me, man. And every single month since I came back, you guys have shown me time and time again how lucky I really am to have this many people watching and have this many people actually f with me enough. I just want to say thank you, gentlemen. Seriously. This is not the best job to have when it's coming to taking care of for the next 10 years, for the next 20 years, for the next 30 years. And with every day that I stream and every time you guys sub, I legitimately find out that we can make this work a little bit longer. But for those that are really like watching because you care even a little bit about what the f going on in my head, I just want you guys to know how much I appreciate y'all.
After 15 years of the highs and lows, of wins and mistakes, it was clear people weren't tuning in just for the gameplay. They were tuning in for him. The community had carried him through it all, and in that moment, he knew none of this would exist without them.
I miss her a lot. She was a great mom, and that was a great day. So, my dad is my hero, truly. I mean, the things that my family has gone through, my dad being like the head of the household, really like shepherding and making sure that everybody's good. I mean, it just means the world to me. Haley, she keeps me in line, you know what I mean? We're like a puzzle piece together. No matter how bad things get, I know that I get to come home to this. So, very significant in my life.
The fact that all this has worked out so far and the growth has continued, I really do appreciate it, guys.
This might get old for you guys, but for me, this is something that I love to do every single time we hit a milestone like this because it's unbelievable. You guys have changed my life in more ways than one. I mean, I wake up at a house.
Hey, y'all still fuck with those? I remember when these motherfuckers first came out, like the fucking scooter, or what are they? Hoverboards. When these motherfuckers first came out, I was like, I want one. But I saw so many videos of people face planting, breaking their fucking front teeth, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I barely can ride a skateboard. I ain't got no balance skills. How the fuck I'm gonna do this?
At a house with 3 of my best friends. Hector obviously is here too, so we could say 4. Hex is gonna be at my wedding one day.
It really does mean a lot, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the live stream later today and in the YouTube videos in the next year. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna continue to do what I love, and I'm gonna continue to do this because you guys have supported me all the way through and really have started a new life for me. So thank you guys very much, and YouTube. We'll see you fudging later.
W video golf cart. Hey, he got 72,000 subscribers, bro. He definitely deserves a lot more, bro. W video, bro. Good shit. He's moving up in the world, bro. He's been making crazy good videos, bro. Let me see what else they got. The Inevitable. Okay. Let me see. Chat, look at this right here. The power of delusional self-belief. I need that delusional self-belief, bro. I'm kind of fucking struggling myself with this content behavior. Black YouTube, what the hell? There now be another Marshawn Lynch. Hey, we were talking about Marshawn Lynch the other day. Hey, I gotta watch this. How good was Brady actually? The GOAT? the GOAT.
Chaos. Beast mode turned routine runs into highlight reel plays. Left defenders.
Well, actually, they kind of hoed him on that one Super Bowl when they try to fucking throw it. I forgot which Super Bowl it was. It was like a couple of years ago when they fucking tried to throw it. They could have just gave it to Marshawn and he would have ran that hoe in, but they fucking threw it and got it picked off. So stupid. And I'm not even gonna lie, I stopped watching football after that. I'm so dead ass.
On the ground and triggered a literal earthquake. Lynch never had much to say in interviews. He let his game do all the talking. However, in the biggest moment of his career, the Seahawks didn't.
Right here. The Matrix is fucking listening to me. What's going on? Holy shit. Yeah, right here, bro. Tom Brady won. But look. They should have gave it to Marshawn. This is when I love fucking Seahawks, when the fucking cornerback was my favorite. God damn it. They fucked this shit up. I stopped watching football after this. I don't even know what year this was.
Put the ball in his hands. So, how good was Marshawn Lynch actually? At Oakland Tech High School, Lynch ran for over 1,700 yards and 23 touchdowns his senior year alone. And that was while also playing defensive back, kick returner, and occasionally even quarterback. Coaches knew he was
quarterback. You don't want people to let him down. So it's hard to get inside that zone with him. If you can get in that little zone and that little shell, you're good. He'll love you for the rest of your life. But if you let him down, he holds grudges.
Teammates couldn't believe what they were seeing, and recruiters were lining up from all over the country. But the 5-star number 2 running back in the nation decided to keep it close to home, choosing to stay in the Bay Area and commit to the University of California, Berkeley. As a true freshman,
I mean, it's a fucking good school.
Wasn't even the starting running back, but that didn't stop him from averaging 8.8 yards per carry on limited touches. And by his sophomore year, he was the guy. Lynch racked up 1,246 rushing yards, helped Cal finish with 10 wins, and proved he could carry an offense on his back, just like he did in high school. But it was his junior year that the legend of beast mode truly began. That year, he ran for 1,356 yards and 11 touchdowns, while also putting up 328 receiving yards. Lynch led Cal to a share of the Pac-10 title, and he was named Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Year. But stats alone don't capture the way Marshawn played. He ran through defenders like they owed him money. He dragged piles. He stiff-armed cornerbacks and
he's fucking built like a tank. That boy got cannons for legs. He's built like a fucking brick wall. I knew I wasn't gonna ever make it to the league when I saw him running, bro. I was like, if I saw him and I played safety, I'm gonna get my fucking shit trucked. I'm gonna dislocate my spine. Bro, when I saw Marshawn Lynch's fucking highlights, bro, I was like, bro, if I still played ball or if I played college ball, he would destroy my fucking spine. Paws of doom. Oh my God.
To another zip code. And in one of his most legendary college football moments, he stole the injury cart and joyroded around the field after a game-winning overtime touchdown. He had all the swagger, all the game, and more importantly, he was ready for the NFL. So come draft night, Marshawn didn't have to wait long. With the 12th overall pick, the Buffalo Bills called his name.
With the 12th pick in the 2007 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Marshawn Lynch, University of California.
They were fresh off a disappointing season and needed a new face for the franchise, someone who could carry the load after the departure of Willis McGahee. But here's the thing. Buffalo wasn't Oakland. It wasn't California. It wasn't even close. Marshawn, a West Coast kid through and through, landed in a city where it snowed like crazy. The media was intense.
I would kill myself. I could, bro, that much snow, bro, playing in the snow. I hated fucking morning workouts. Imagine working out fucking 3 a.m. and it's goddamn bricks of snow just everywhere, bro.
And the people were, well, a little different.
What's up? We're gonna go celebrate all the shit. All right, we go down to a bar and they had a Confederate flag hanging there. I'm like, damn, what kind of American flag is this? That's a Confederate flag. What is that? So I'm trying to, hey, let me get some Hennessy. They looking at me like.
Still, he came out swinging his rookie season. In his very first NFL game, he ran for over 90 yards and a touchdown. By midseason, it was clear. This rookie wasn't normal. He had the vision to hit cutbacks, the strength to shed linebackers, and the toughness to take 20-plus carries a game without slowing down. In Week 10 against the Bengals, he dropped a 153-yard, 1-touchdown performance, and even threw a 16-yard touchdown pass on top of it. But just a week later, Marshawn suffered an ankle injury that kept him out for 3 games. However, that just makes his season stats all the more wild. over 250 touches, 1,115 rushing yards, and 7 total touchdowns. Only Adrian Peterson outrushed him among rookies.
OG, Adrian Peterson, OG, top OG.
That year. He let his play do all the talking. While other young stars chased headlines, Marshawn kept a low profile. He wasn't flashy in the media, but on the field, he was quietly becoming one of the most dominant backs in football. Heading into the 2008 season, Buffalo's offense was all over the place.
Yeah, I've never seen somebody run with such high knees like Marshawn does, bro.
The O-line was shaky and the passing game was inconsistent at best. But even with teams game planning around him, Marshawn still racked up over 1,000 rushing yards for the second straight season, finishing with 1,036 yards and 9 total touchdowns. That made him just the third player in Bills history to start his career with back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, joining legends Joe Cribbs and Thurman Thomas. And the league started to take notice as Lynch earned his first Pro Bowl selection. But despite that, the cracks were starting to show. The Bills finished 7-9 after starting 5-1, and Marshawn's frustration grew. Off the field, trouble was brewing too. In June 2008, he was involved in a hit-and-run incident that led to a misdemeanor charge and the NFL taking a closer look at his behavior.
New York police have subpoenaed 3 players with the Buffalo Bills to testify about a hit-and-run accident involving running back Marshawn Lynch's SUV. Police spent about 90 minutes at the team's practice facility trying to get players to talk to them, but say no one is being very cooperative.
And before the 2009 season, things continued.
Hey, that's loyal teammates, bro. That's loyalty, bro.
To get worse. In March, Lynch was suspended.
Bro, that's where I first saw somebody with a black visor was Marshawn Lynch. I'm pretty sure he was the first one I started seeing wear that black visor, bro. That's where I got these, these shades inspiration, bro.
For the
black
first 3
visor.
games of the season after pleading guilty to a weapons charge.
He expected to get suspended for some time for the upcoming regular season, and that prophecy became reality Thursday as the league announced he has received a 3-game sit-down for 2009.
That gave another Bills running back, Fred Jackson, a chance to take over, and Jackson balled out. And by the time Marshawn returned in Week 4, the dynamic had shifted. Fred Jackson had won over the locker room, the coaching staff, and the fans. And while Lynch still got touches, he never quite got his job back. He was still powerful, still hard to tackle, still respected, but Buffalo didn't seem interested in building around him anymore. So when the Seattle Seahawks called on October 5th, 2010, they were quick to pick up the phone. The Bills sent Lynch to Seattle for just a 4th and 5th round pick.
After a couple of weeks of rumors, the Buffalo Bills have finally
Damn, low-key, that would hurt my feelings. That would hurt my feelings.
found a home for Marshawn Lynch. The runner is headed across the country, and he's going to be handling the chances in Seattle.
Pete Carroll was building a young, scrappy, physical team, and Marshawn fit that identity like a glove. His first few games with the Seahawks were solid but quiet. He wasn't dropping 150-yard stat lines yet, but behind
that was the hardest clip. I seen that everywhere, bro. When he juked them into fucking each other, bro. He juked them into fucking
he wasn't dropping 150 yards.
Bro, I'm pretty sure that's Ray Lewis right there. He juked Ray Lewis into the fucking pause of doom, bro.
But behind the scenes, something was brewing. He was running angry again, running with purpose. And more importantly, Seattle embraced the chaos that came with Marshawn. The media shyness, the grills, the way he was unapologetically himself. Seattle didn't care. They wanted the bruising downhill back who could run through a brick wall. And despite finishing 7-9 in 2010, the Seahawks still made the playoffs thanks to a terrible NFC West. And in Lynch's first postseason game ever, everything changed.
Crowd silent now, as opposed to when the Saints have the ball. Oh, look at this run! What a run! Marshawn Lynch has blockers now. He's dancing his way for the touchdown.
This wasn't just beast mode. This was a beast quake, because Seattle fans went so crazy, they generated enough noise to register on the Richter scale. Marshawn Lynch had finally found his home, and the rest of the league had no idea what was coming. In 2011, Marshawn finished with 1,204 rushing yards, 12 rushing touchdowns, and an 11-game touchdown streak. Every week, Lynch was must-see TV. Stiff arms into the dirt, Skittles celebrations on the sideline.
Ever since,
bro, I feel like the reason the Skittles shit blew up because of Marshawn Lynch, and bro, I get why he was doing it. The amount of fucking sugar rush you probably get from eating a bag of Skittles, just oh my god, I didn't even think about it. It's low-key eating crack.
High school, Marshawn Lynch's mom always gave him a pack of Skittles that he eats during the game after touchdowns. Well, there you go.
Or an explosive run that left defenders grabbing air. The Seahawks weren't great yet, and they finished 7-9 for a second year in a row, but you could feel something coming. And in 2012, their push over the hump came in the form of rookie quarterback Russell Wilson.
With the 75th pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Russell Wilson, quarterback, Wisconsin.
But while Wilson brought excitement, Marshawn was still the engine of the team, and that engine was roaring. Lynch racked up 1,590 rushing yards, 11 rushing touchdowns, an all-pro first team, and a career-high 5.0 yards per carry. He had 10 games with over 100 rushing yards, and his bruising style wore down defenses week after week. In Seattle, they were starting to look scary. Their defense, the Legion of Boom, was maturing into one of the best in football. So,
they had one of the best safeties in the game. I can't remember his fucking name, but
surprisingly, the Seahawks finished 11-5 and earned a wild card spot. In the playoffs, Lynch took his game to another level, rushing for 100.
Cam Chancellor. Fuck, I couldn't think of his name.
32 yards.
Or Cam Chancellor, yeah,
and a touchdown in a comeback win against Washington before Seattle suffered a narrow loss to Atlanta. But finally, the Seahawks had a winning season and showed that they were for real in the postseason. And if there was any doubt, they quickly cleared that up in the 2013 season. Seattle won their division for the first time since 2007, finishing 13-3 behind a smothering defense and a bruising offense built around none other than beast mode. Wilson made plays, but Marshawn won games. When they needed a clock chewer, he delivered. When they needed a big run on 3rd and short, he bullied through it. And when they needed someone to carry the load in bad weather or hostile stadiums, it was always the same guy, number 24. In the divisional round against the Saints, Lynch had 140 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Then, just a week later in the conference championship, he put up
he literally is running like a fucking tank. Imagine a fucking motherfucker built like a goddamn wall runs at you. Like, damn, bro. He probably handed out fucking concussions like a special dish at McDonald's, bro.
9 rushing yards against the Niners, and Marshawn Lynch and the Seattle Seahawks were headed to the Super Bowl. And while Lynch played well, scoring a touchdown, it was the Legion of Boom that stole the show, forcing a safety, 4 turnovers, including a pick 6 by Malcolm Smith, and holding Peyton Manning's high-powered offense to just 1 touchdown in a 43-8 blowout. And when the confetti fell, Beast Mode was a Super Bowl champ. And you didn't have to be a Seahawks fan to love Beast Mode. He was the walking embodiment of everything fans loved about football. Violent, physical, no-nonsense running, mixed with just enough swagger to keep things fun. And in 2014, Marshawn gave us the full experience. He finished the season with 1,306 rushing yards, a career-high 13 rushing touchdowns, plus 4 receiving TDs. And he even gave us a little Beast Quake 2.0 action in Week 16 against...
Damn! That's the one problem with fucking being on defense, bro. You might be somebody's highlight reel, bro. Like, dude, what the hell?
TDs. And
like, imagine getting caught lacking, bro. At least his number isn't showing. You can't really identify, bro. He got you bent like a pretzel, bro.
Week 16 against the Cardinals, where the NFL fined him for grabbing his crotch during his celebration. But while the highlights were electric, it was the postseason where things hit legendary status yet again. In the NFC Championship against the Packers, Seattle was down big. But Marshawn sparked the comeback, blasting off a 24-yard go-ahead touchdown late in the 4th. Seattle eventually won in overtime, and they were headed back to the Super Bowl for the 2nd straight year. This time, they would have to face Tom Brady's Patriots. And in all the Super Bowl week media festivities, Marshawn stole the show in a way only he can, by doing a press conference where he said, well, nothing, except for one now famous line.
I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. Hey, I'm here so I won't get fined.
The Seahawks were trying to go back-to-back. Late in the 4th quarter, down 28-24, Seattle was driving. Russell Wilson hit Jermaine Kearse on a Miracle Circus catch to get to the 5-yard line. Lynch had already rushed for 102 bruising yards.
This hurt me, bro. Why the fuck they didn't give it to the fucking biggest motherfucker on the field, bro? Well, Actually, now looking, 75 is the biggest motherfucker. Bro, look at that fucking power gut, bro. Him or this guy, the motherfucker is built like giants.
Down. All he needed was one more carry, one more yard. The game and a 2nd ring was right there. But the Seahawks didn't give it to him. Maybe they were trying to catch the defense off guard. Maybe they didn't like the look the defense was giving them. Some believe it was about spreading credit, letting Wilson
No, some people thought the game was set up. Like it sounded like it was a setup.
be the hero instead of Marshawn. Whatever the reason, they took the ball out of the hands of the most dominant short yardage back in the NFL in the biggest moment of the season.
You see the reaction from everybody, and then as I'm going back to the sideline, and as I hear this, I take my helmet off. And I go right to Pete Carroll's face, and I'm talking about I hit his with the biggest. You laughed in his face?
But you could tell it hurt him. That moment shook the locker room. The team lost its edge, and Marshawn's relationship with the organization was never quite the same. By 2015, the wear and tear started to have an impact on his body. He dealt with back issues in week 3. Then came hamstring problems. Then a sports hernia that required surgery in late November. In total, he played just 7 games, and the following season, he was done. And true to form, he didn't announce his retirement with a big press conference. No, Marshawn being Marshawn, he posted a photo on Twitter during the Super Bowl of his cleats hanging from a power line. No caption, no explanation, just a peace sign emoji. That was it. Beast mode was gone. Or so we thought. In April 2017, word broke that Lynch was coming out of retirement, but not just for any team. He was coming back for his hometown Oakland Raiders. At age 31, a year away from football, expectations were mixed. Was he still beast mode, or was this just a nostalgia act? Turns out he still had plenty of gas in the tank. Marshawn played in 15 games, racked up 891 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns, 4.3 yards per carry. And just like old times, he brought the fire. He still trucked defenders. He still stiff-armed linebackers. And he even gave us a little show on the sideline. But 2017 wasn't smooth sailing for the Raiders. After a surprise 12-win season in 2016, the team collapsed to 6-10. The offense was inconsistent. Derek Carr battled injuries, and head coach Jack Del Rio was fired after the season. A year later, injuries once again came back to bite. In Week 6 against the Seahawks, ironically his former team, Marshawn suffered a groin injury that just wouldn't heal. He was placed on injured reserve, ending his season early. And with the Raiders set to move to Las Vegas the next year, this was officially the end for Marshawn, right? Well, after not playing football for over a year, Marshawn got a call. In Week 16, both of Seattle's top running backs, Chris Carson and CJ Prosise, went down with season-ending injuries. And this was a team that was flying high. Russell Wilson was playing at an MVP level, and the team was gearing up for another deep playoff run. But the Seahawks were out of options. They needed someone who knew the playbook, someone who could handle the moment, someone the locker room believed in. Enter Beast Mode. The whole city lit up.
Yo.
Didn't matter that he was 33. Didn't matter that he hadn't played in a while. Marshawn brought something different. A vibe, a toughness, a belief. In his first game back, he scored
bro,
something
imagine how
different.
fucking scary this would be,
a
bro.
toughness,
He
a
breaks
belief.
through and it's just you and Marshawn Lynch, bro. Bro, if he came straight head on at the fucking safety, he's knocking his fucking head loose, bruh. He's giving you a spinal reconstruction. No diddy.
In his first game back, he scored a touchdown that made Seattle go crazy. In the wild-card game against the Eagles, he bulldozed his way into the end zone. And in the post-game press conference, instead of the usual beast mode silence, he dropped one of the most unexpectedly thoughtful moments of his career.
So while y'all at it right now, take care of y'all bodies, you know what I mean? Don't take care of y'all chicken. You feel me? Don't take care of y'all mentals.
Basically, a message for younger players to protect their health and their wealth. Unfortunately, the divisional round game against the Packers the following week would end up being Lynch's final NFL appearance. And once again, there was no parade, no big announcement, he just walked off. And if you look at the numbers, Marshawn had a great career. 10,413 rushing yards, 85 rushing touchdowns, 5 Pro Bowls, 1 Super Bowl ring. But if you stop there, you've completely missed the point. He brought a rare energy to the field, a controlled chaos. Every time he touched the ball, it felt like something violent and beautiful was about to happen. He ran through defenders. He set the tone. He imposed his will. Many argue his legacy would have been greater if the Seahawks ran instead of throwing.
I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Yeah, this kind of threw me off the fucking, like, this was the one place that I really think they fucked him over, bro. If they gave him this dub, they would be too, bro. I might still be watching football to this day, bro. I mean, I still do, but like not like I used to, bro. After this, I was like, bro, fuck all that, bro. It low-key broke my heart. This game broke my heart, bro. I mean, I love Tom Brady, but like, fuck, bro. Like, I was really rooting for the Seahawks.
1-yard line, and Marshawn had that second Super Bowl ring. But here's the thing. That play didn't tarnish his legacy. If anything, made it stronger. Because everyone knew if they had handed it to Marshawn Lynch, they would have won that game. He meant business on the football field. And he
Bro, it was
doesn't
literally
real
within the
life.
5-yard line. Like, why the fuck? It was honestly like deserving of the coach to get fired. It was the worst fucking decision. It was like you knew all your parlays was about to hit, but you said, nah, I don't need to put the money in.
2. He now has business ventures ranging from his Beast Mode apparel line to co-owning the Seattle Kraken and Bay Area Panthers, plus investments in cannabis, a food restaurant in Oakland, a film production company, and he's even appeared in 2 movies. That's Beast Mode. And if you enjoyed this video, stick with Blitz.
W video. Well, I guess we could go to the next one, which is like right here. How good was Tom Brady, bro? 33 minutes of how good was Tom Brady, our fucking god of football. Everybody be hating on Tom Brady. I'm not gonna lie.
Greatest player.
I'm not gonna lie, but bro, he's low-key OG.
In sports, and the quarterback is the most impactful position.
He's the best football player to ever play football.
Facts.
Ever.
I stand down. He is the GOAT and the boat and everything else.
I've been asked that question for many years. Tom is the best.
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, led by the greatest quarterback.
Tom Brady, Super Bowl champion for the 7th time.
Tom Brady holds just about every major quarterback record. He played in 10 Super Bowls, more than 28 entire franchises, and he won 7. That's as many as Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, and Aaron Rodgers combined. Even at 44 years old, he led the NFL in passing yards and touchdowns. And when the pressure was the highest, Brady always delivered. He has more game-winning drives and fourth-quarter comebacks than any quarterback in history, and no one has dominated the postseason like him. But despite his resume, for much of his career, Brady had more haters than any player ever. Some claimed he was just
Bro, people still hate on Brady, bro. I give credit where it's due, bro. And, you know, with the amount of rings he got, bro, he got it. He got
product
it like
of the Patriots system.
Can't argue the fact that he's getting to do what he's doing with the greatest coach who ever lived.
Nothing more than a check-down merchant and a game manager.
Is it fair to say at this point, the great TB12 is just a game manager?
Yep. In fact, you could go back, Pete, before this point and say he's a game manager.
Others couldn't stand how many controversial calls went his way, and the scandals Brady and the Patriots always seemed to be involved in. So, how good was Tom Brady actually? And is he really the greatest of all time?
Let's go!
Bro, I realized, bro, Yoho going when Tom Brady's bitch left him, bro. I knew Yoho going when Tom Brady's bitch left him.
Well, to find out, let's go back to Junipero Serra High School in the early 90s, when Brady almost gave up football entirely. See, Tom was a standout baseball player, a left-handed power hitter with a cannon for an arm.
Tommy's throwing ability, he threw both balls great. He's one of the best catchers I've had at throwing the ball.
But when it came to football, Brady wasn't exactly a star. He rode the bench for his first 2 years at Junipero Serra, serving as backup to a quarterback who wouldn't even play college football. And when he finally got his shot as a junior, he wasn't the most athletic guy on the field, or even the best quarterback in his conference.
I didn't know how to put the pads on in my pants when I tried out for freshman football. I went on the field and I was like, I'm going to get killed out here, you know? And my freshman year, I didn't even play. I was the backup quarterback on a team that went 0-8.
But what he did have was an insane work ethic.
Damn!
He obsessed over film, he threw every single day, and worked with a private coach to improve his footwork and mechanics.
I'd be watching films of other teams, but they're watching themselves and critiquing themselves. And then I'm sure they bring it home, and, you know, Tom Sr. is doing it.
Every Sunday we'd go to his house for lunch, me, him, and the other receivers. His mom would make us, sandwiches. We'd sit down and analyze the film.
And by his senior year, he put up solid numbers, throwing for 2,121 yards and 20 touchdowns. But he still wasn't a can't-miss prospect. But on the baseball field, he was a force. His bat sent balls soaring. His arm fired rockets from behind the plate, and every scout in the region took notice. he was dominant. So much so that the Montreal Expos drafted him straight out of high school to be a catcher. A guaranteed contract, MLB money, and a secure future was right there for the taking. The choice was easy, but Brady wasn't interested because football was his obsession, his purpose. But there was just one problem. He didn't have a single D1 offer.
I got offered a scholarship to UCLA, and then they turned me away at the last minute because another kid signed before me. And I really wanted to go to USC. That was probably my first choice, but they didn't want me either. They signed another kid who was one of the top recruits on the West Coast.
So Brady took matters into his own hands, sending out highlight tapes to over 100 colleges, most of which didn't even bother responding, until Michigan decided to take a chance on him. But even then, he was far from their top recruit. He arrived as the 7th quarterback on the depth chart. And if he thought high school was a challenge, college was about to become a different beast entirely. For 2 years, he barely touched the field, watching from the sidelines as Brian Griese led the Wolverines to a national championship. But instead of getting frustrated and transferring, Brady worked harder.
My freshman year, I read.
Bro, that's a champion right there, bro. If you 7th on the fucking, that's grind mode, bro. That's grind mode, bro.
Never played, barely practiced, but I learned a lot.
He did everything he could to get better, from watching hours of film to working with a sports psychologist to improve his mindset. And by his junior year, Brady earned the starting job. But Michigan still wasn't sold on him yet. The coaches constantly rotated him with the freshman Drew Henson, a top recruit who was supposed to be the future. But despite this lack of trust, Brady delivered.
He sat down right in front of my desk. He said, "Coach, I'm not going to leave, and I'm going to prove to you that I'm the best quarterback."
He was trainable, coachable, and hungry. This guy was hungry to be the best.
In his 2 years as a Michigan starter, he went 20-5, led 10 game-winning drives, and capped off his college career with a clutch Orange Bowl win against Alabama, throwing for 369 yards and 4 touchdowns in an overtime thriller. But after all that work he put in to prove himself in Ann Arbor, pro scouts still weren't impressed. Brady wasn't fast, his arm strength was average, and simply put, he didn't really have any traits that would project him as a viable NFL quarterback.
Poor build, skinny,
Damn.
lacks great physical stature and strength.
Bro, see, that's the thing. He's been a fucking top G since day one, bro. They've been hating on him since day one, so he's like, bro, fuck all that. I'm gonna be the greatest.
Lacks mobility and ability to avoid the rush, lacks a really strong arm, can't drive the ball downfield, does not throw a really tight spiral.
System-type player who can get exposed if forced to ad lib.
And gets knocked down easily.
So when draft day came, Brady waited and waited and waited. 6 quarterbacks were taken ahead of him. Some teams didn't even have him on their draft board. Then it happened. In the 6th round, with the 199th pick in the 2000 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots took a chance on the skinny kid who no one believed would ever be anything more than a backup.
He looked me like a laser eye to eye, and he said, "That's right, and I'm the best decision this organization has ever made."
Brady walked into training camp as the 4th-string quarterback, behind Drew Bledsoe and 2 other guys who would never start an NFL game.
I remember calling my agent and I said, "I think I want to buy a house." This is 2 weeks into training camp. And he's like, "Are you nuts? Why don't you make the team first?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to make the team. Don't worry about that."
By the end of his rookie season, he worked his way up to 2nd string, but he still wasn't expected to play anytime soon. Bledsoe was the franchise guy, fresh off signing a 10-year, $103 million contract.
Damn.
Drew probably liked sort of the challenge of making the Patriots and NFL football relevant in New England, and it really all started with him.
While Brady was just happy to have secured his spot as a backup, until in week 2 of the 2001 season, everything changed. Bledsoe took a brutal hit from Jets linebacker Mo Lewis, suffering internal bleeding that nearly killed him. And just like that, the Patriots had no choice but to turn to their unknown backup.
Bro, really, you're running into a brick wall. If you're running into a linebacker, bro, you're getting hit by a fucking force that's, getting hit by a truck.
Tom Brady.
You think about the situation, and I know visiting Drew in the hospital, he'd love to be out here playing. And it's really my job to step in and pick up where he left off.
At first, Brady wasn't flashy. He wasn't making any jaw-dropping plays. But what he did do was manage the game perfectly. He protected the football, made smart decisions, and most importantly, he won. After starting 0-2, the Patriots went 11-3 with Brady under center, and his confidence kept growing. He led comeback wins, showed ice-cold composure in crunch time, and by the end of the year, the Patriots had gone from an afterthought to a Super Bowl contender. But when the playoffs arrived, there was drama. See, Drew Bledsoe was healthy again, and he was the guy the franchise just paid big money to. And thankfully for Tom, Bill Belichick didn't care, and he stuck with Brady. But Brady's first playoff game would be a rough one. A gritty matchup with the Raiders in a blizzard. With just under 2 minutes left, the Patriots...
Imagine playing in that, bro. Every time you get hit, you're gonna feel it in your shoulder going down to your toenails, bro. Hell no.
Trailed 13-10, and their season was slipping away. On what would be their final drive in regulation, Brady dropped back to pass, scanning the field for an open receiver. Then boom, Raiders cornerback Charles Woodson came flying off the edge on a blitz and drilled Brady, knocking the ball loose. The Raiders jumped on it, and just like that, the game was over. Or so they thought. The officials huddled together reviewing the play. Then came the announcement that changed NFL history forever.
The quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete pass.
That's the worst call in the history of sports.
This was clearly a fumble. Brady had pulled the ball back toward his body. He wasn't throwing it.
Thank you for correctly ruling this on the field. I appreciate you getting the call right.
But thanks to an obscure rule called the tuck rule, the refs determined that Brady's motion was still part of a pass attempt, even if he wasn't actually passing.
Looking to the left, throwing it. I was going to throw it, and he hit me as I was throwing.
Your story, you're sticking to it, right?
Darn right. All right.
It was a gift, and Brady did not waste it. He marched New England down the field.
That's why people hate him, bro. He be getting the craziest call, bro. Like the Matrix is on his side, bro.
Setting up a 45-yard field goal to send the game to overtime, where Brady led another drive, putting the Patriots in range for one more field goal to win the game. Then, after taking down the Steelers in the AFC Championship, Brady led the Patriots into Super Bowl 36 as heavy underdogs against Kurt Warner's high-powered Rams offense, the greatest show on turf. And most young quarterbacks would have folded under that kind of pressure, but not Brady. He played mistake-free football, and with 1:30 left in the game, he led a clutch game-winning drive that set up another walk-off field goal. The Patriots had pulled off the upset, and Brady, at the time, was the youngest quarterback ever to win a Super Bowl.
It's just dream come true. Dream come true.
It looked like the Patriots had found a true diamond in the rough in their 6th-round QB, until reality hit. The Patriots came out red hot, starting the next season 3-0, with Brady lighting up the scoreboard. But then the losses piled up. They got blown out by the Chargers, let the Chiefs drop 38 points on them, then lost a tough battle to Brett Favre and the Packers. While Brady finished the season leading the NFL with 28 touchdown passes, his 14 interceptions were a leading cause in the Patriots finishing 9-7 and missing the playoffs entirely. All of a sudden, the narrative shifted. Tom Brady isn't the future. The Patriots should have kept Drew Bledsoe, whom they had traded to Buffalo the offseason prior. And
the New England Patriots are officially Brady's bunch. Drew Bledsoe is shuffling off to Buffalo.
Brady was nothing more than a one-season wonder.
That kind of gets me fired up because I'm thinking, what the hell do these people know?
Then, to add insult to injury, to start the 2003 season, the Patriots took an absolute beatdown from none other than the Drew Bledsoe-led Bills. Brady threw 4 interceptions in the game as New England got embarrassed, 31-0. But then, something clicked. By the end of the regular season, New England had gone 14-2. Then, in the final game of the year, they got revenge on the Bills with a 31-0 blowout of their own, securing...
Shit, bro, he didn't even get one touchdown. Ooh, he just shitted on him, bro.
The number 1 seed in the AFC and entered the playoffs on a 12-game win streak. And Brady wasn't done. In the divisional round, they faced the Titans in one of the coldest games in NFL history. Wind chills hit -10 degrees, but that didn't stop Brady. He threw a touchdown pass to Bethel Johnson and led a crucial fourth-quarter drive, setting up a field goal to win 17-14.
How do you even get hands to catch something like that, bro? -10 winds, bro. So the weather's got to be 5 degrees or less, right? My fucking fingers are frozen to even hold a cup. How are these fucking motherfuckers catching a football going 90 miles an hour, bro?
In the AFC Championship game, Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. Brady had already beaten Manning in the regular season, but this was different. The stakes were higher, and Manning was playing at an MVP level. But the Patriots defense destroyed him, picking him off 4 times as the Patriots won 24-14, sending Brady to his second Super Bowl in 3 years.
Carolina's doing everything they can to go out and try to knock the crap out of us. So it's going to be a tough battle.
Facing the Carolina Panthers in Super Bowl 38, Brady started hot, throwing 2 touchdowns in the first half. But Carolina fought back, tying it up 29-29. But their big mistake was letting Brady have the ball with 1:08 left on the clock, and everyone in the stadium knew what was coming next. Tom marched the Patriots down the field, hitting Deion Branch for a huge gain and setting up another game-winning field goal.
From 41 yards. Looks good.
He had done it again. Brady finished with 354 yards and 3 touchdowns, earning his second Super Bowl MVP. The Patriots had officially arrived as the team to beat in the NFL. In 2004, they started the season off 6-0.
Yeah, I see why people be hating on him, bro. He just be fucking, like, 2 fucking dubbies like that, bro. 2 back-to-back. Ooh, well, not back-to-back technically, but in 3 years... Yo, crazy work.
Setting
crazy.
an NFL record 21 straight wins before Big Ben and the Steelers broke the streak, and the Patriots finished the season 14-2 for a second straight year. But this time there was one key difference. Running back Corey Dillon, who rushed for a franchise record 1,635 yards, taking some of the load off Brady. First up, in the playoffs, a rematch with Peyton Manning and the Colts. Brady didn't do much, but he didn't have to, because the defense completely shut down Manning again, holding the Colts' top-ranked offense to just 3 points, while Corey Dillon ran for 144 yards, and New England cruised to a 20-3 win. Next up, Pittsburgh. The Steelers had crushed the Patriots earlier in the season, breaking their win streak, and rookie Ben Roethlisberger hadn't lost a game all year. But this was the playoffs, where Brady proved time and time again that he was made for the moment. On the first drive, Brady threw a 60-yard bomb to Deion Branch for a touchdown. Then, right before halftime, he launched another deep ball, hitting Branch again to put the Patriots up 24-3, and the Steelers never recovered. Brady finished with 207 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the Patriots won 41-27, sending them back to the Super Bowl for the second straight year. Their opponent was the Philadelphia Eagles, whose star receiver Terrell Owens was playing on a fractured leg.
Roy grabbed me by my shoulder, pulled me down, and when I went down, I heard a pop.
So surely that would slow him down, right? Wrong. Philly came out swinging, and Owens torched the Patriots' defense for 122 yards, keeping the game tight in the first half. But in the second half, Brady took control. The Patriots pulled ahead, sealing a 24-21 victory and securing their
Brady's
third.
been in the game for so long, bro. He's been in the game. I just realized he's played so long.
Super Bowl in 4 years.
I'm just lucky, I think, to have the opportunity to be on 3 Super Bowl winning teams.
Just like that, New England wasn't just a great team anymore. They were a dynasty. But even with all the Patriots' success, not everyone was convinced Tom Brady was a superstar. It's true, he had been surrounded by talent for his entire career. But all of a sudden in 2005, he'd have a chance to quiet the naysayers, because star corner Ty Law was gone, defensive leader Teddy Bruschi suffered a stroke that put him out for half the year, and injuries plagued the Patriots, including Corey Dillon, who was dominant the year before. With no running game and a struggling defense, the fate of the season came down to one thing: whether or not Tom Brady could carry the team. And with all eyes on him, Brady had his best season yet, throwing for a league-leading 4,110 passing yards while adding 26 touchdowns. The Patriots...
A big dubby! Holy shit!
Patriots finished the season 10-6. And once again, we're in the playoffs. In the wild card round, Brady did what he always did: win. It was his 10th straight playoff win, the longest streak in NFL history. But in the divisional round, it all came crashing down, as the Denver Broncos won 27-13, handing Brady his first ever playoff loss. And that loss gave the critics the fuel they needed, as the Brady being carried by his team narrative was now louder than ever. And things would not get any easier for Brady the next year. Star wide receiver Deion Branch, the Super Bowl 39 MVP, was traded. Wide receiver David Givens, Brady's most reliable red zone target, left in free agency. Receivers Bethel Johnson, Tim Dwight, and tight end Daniel Graham all gone. By week 1, Brady's receiving core looked unrecognizable.
Damn,
His top
that hit.
wideouts were Rashae Caldwell and Jabbar Gaffney, two guys who would struggle to be wide receiver 3s on most teams. For the
Fuck did I just watch?
Caldwell and Jabbar Gaffney, two guys who would struggle to be wide receiver.
What the hell was that? What the hell was that? What the fucking hell? Put me in the league, bro. What the fucking hell was that?
3s on most teams. For the first time in his career, Brady didn't have any elite weapons. But once again, he put the team on his back, passing for 3,529 yards, 24 touchdowns, and leading the Patriots to a 12-4 record. Due to the lack of receiver talent, Brady had to spread the ball everywhere. In fact, his top receiver only had 760 yards. In the playoffs, Brady and the Pats took down the Jets, then went on to face NFL MVP LaDainian Tomlinson and the powerhouse 14-2 San Diego Chargers. The Chargers defense sacked Brady 4 times, and with 8 minutes left, New England was down 21-13, with their season hanging by a thread. But Brady did what he does best. On 4th and 5, with the game on the line, he fired a laser to Rashae Caldwell for a clutch first down. And a few plays later, he hit Caldwell again for a touchdown, then converted the game-tying 2-point conversion. And after a Chargers turnover, Brady set up the game-winning field goal, pulling off a 24-21 stunner. The Patriots had no business winning that game, but Brady's uncanny ability to be clutch in the toughest moments gave them the edge once again.
I was walking off the field and I said to Teddy, I go, man, that was not easy. And he says to me, they never are, buddy. They never are.
In the AFC Championship, Brady would face off against the man he had owned in the playoffs up to this point, Peyton Manning. And once again, New England dominated the first half, jumping out to a 21-3 lead. But this time, Manning and the Colts stormed back, taking the lead late in the fourth quarter. Brady had one last chance, down 38-34 with a minute left. This was his moment, but he came up short, throwing an interception on the final drive to seal the game. However, one thing was clear. Brady had overachieved with a roster that had no business making the AFC title game.
You know, it's frustrating when it ends like this for all of us because I think the expectations are always a little bit higher. But I'm proud of the competitiveness that we showed.
The critics were forced to eat their words, and the loss lit a fire in New England. They'd seen firsthand what happened when Brady didn't have weapons. So, that offseason, the Patriots made a decision that would change NFL history forever. They went out and got one of the greatest receivers of all time, Randy Moss. And they weren't done there. They signed
Randy Moss. Bro, literally they call him mossing somebody, bro. How crazy good he was.
Slot receiver Wes Welker, then added Dante Stallworth, and drafted a young tight end, Ben Watson. Suddenly, Brady had the best supporting cast of his career, and it paid off big time. Brady wasn't just great in 2007, he was unstoppable. He threw for 4,806 passing yards, an NFL record at the time 50 touchdowns, and won MVP while leading the Patriots to the first 16-0 regular season in history. But it wasn't just about the wins, it was about how they won. New England's offense was a machine, steamrolling opponents by an average margin of nearly 20 points per game. They led the league in scoring with a staggering 589 points, the most ever at the time. And Brady and Randy Moss rewrote the record books, with Moss hauling in an NFL record 23 touchdown receptions. It wasn't just the greatest regular season ever, it was a level of dominance the NFL had never seen before. And the scary part, they weren't done yet. In the divisional round against the Jags, Brady completed 26 of 28 passes in a clean win, before throwing 3 interceptions in a not-so-clean win against the Chargers. The Patriots were now 18-0, and they were one win away from history. And this Super Bowl matchup was the undefeated Patriots versus the underwhelming 5th-seed Giants. On paper, it was a mismatch. New England had set records all year. Brady had just won MVP. The Patriots were 14-point favorites. However, the game didn't go as planned for the Pats. The Giants knew they couldn't keep up in a shootout, so they made it a slugfest. But still, New England had a 14-10 lead late in the fourth quarter. And then, one of the craziest plays of all time happened. On 3rd and 5, Eli Manning was nearly sacked, but somehow escaped and launched a deep pass.
Hey, low-key, just because he's, Peyton Manning's brother, bro, like, Eli Manning was slept on. Low-key is pretty good, bro. I know people be hating on Eli Manning, but, like, the Manning brothers, bro, they're the OG quarterbacks, bro.
Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
Moments later, the Giants scored, taking a 17-14 lead. Brady had one last shot with under a minute left.
Look at the fucking arm just Bro, my shoulder hurt. What the hell? That shit is at a 90-degree angle, bro. He's a fucking obtuse angle, bro.
But he was unable to come through, and just like that, the perfect season was ruined. So Brady left that game with unfinished business, and he was determined to come back better than ever next season.
Usually on the better side of those 3-point wins, but I just have to regroup and come back and try to make it stronger next year.
But his dreams for the 08 season quickly became a nightmare, because in week 1, Brady tore his ACL and MCL.
This game is bigger than any player that's ever played this game, and you realize how fortunate you are to be a part of it when you can't participate.
So the last 2 games he played were a massive upset loss in the Super Bowl and a game where he suffered a season-ending injury. It was a new low. And now the question was whether or not he'd come back the same player. Well, we soon found out. Because in 2009, Brady played solid despite the missed time, even winning Comeback Player of the Year. But things were just off in New England. The Patriots finished 10-6, a win worse than the previous year with Matt Castle at QB. And after getting blown out in the playoffs, some wondered if Tom Brady's time in New England was coming to an end. He was now 33 years old, and 2010 was a contract year for him. But pressure always brought the best out of Brady, and he shocked the NFL. He kicked off the season with a bang, throwing for 258 yards and 3 touchdowns, and just never slowed down from there, finishing the year with a league-leading 36 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions, the lowest in the NFL. He looked dominant and took care of the football better than ever, as he led the league with a 111 passer rating. Brady led the Patriots to a 14-2 record and captured his second NFL MVP award. Despite losing in the divisional round to the Jets, one thing was clear: Tom Brady's time in New England was far from finished, and that was all but confirmed when the Patriots gave him a record-breaking 4-year, $72 million contract extension.
Damn.
And then the next season,
I need a W like that. A fucking 72 milli? Yeah, you fucking chilling for life.
everything clicked again. Brady was on fire, throwing for a ridiculous 5,235 yards, becoming one of the few quarterbacks in history to cross the 5,000-yard mark. He led the Patriots to a 13-3 record, torching defenses all season and setting up another Super Bowl appearance. And this time, he had a shot at redemption against Eli Manning and the New York Giants. The Patriots looked like they were in control, holding a 17-9 lead in the fourth quarter, but then it started slipping away. The Giants cut the lead to 17-15, and with just over 3 minutes left, they mounted a game-winning drive. A crucial 38-yard catch by Mario Manningham put New York in position, and just like in 2007, the Patriots defense couldn't get the stop they needed.
Let him score! You gotta let him score!
New England let the Giants score a late touchdown to get the ball back with under a minute left, giving Brady one final shot at a miracle. But his Hail Mary fell incomplete in the end zone, and just like that, the Giants had stunned the Pats again. And then just a year later, the Patriots found themselves in a similar situation, with a 13-7 lead at halftime in the AFC Championship against the Ravens. But Joe Flacco completely took over the second half, as Baltimore outscored New England 21-0 in the final two quarters. All of a sudden, Brady went from one of the most clutch players of all time to an aging quarterback who some doubted could get the job done anymore. And after
Never doubt Brady. Never doubt fucking Tom Brady, bro.
another season of playoff disappointment, the Patriots dynasty was on the verge of collapse. Number one receiver Wes Welker left in free agency. Tight end Aaron Hernandez was arrested and out of the NFL, and Rob Gronkowski was recovering from multiple surgeries. So once again, the fate of the Patriots was set on the shoulders of their 36-year-old quarterback in 2013. And once again,
that's when he comes in clutch. That's Tom Brady, boy. You don't doubt the fucking GOAT. That's the GOAT.
And Tom Brady delivered. He led New England to another AFC championship, where they did fall short. But Brady proved that players around him really didn't matter. He was always going to find a way to win games. Still, when the 2014 season rolled around, the fact of the matter was that Brady hadn't won a Super Bowl in nearly a decade, and surely Father Time was going to catch up with him at some point. Then, the start of the season brought disaster. In Week 4, the Patriots got humiliated, suffering a 41-14 blowout loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Brady looked shaky, the offense was out of sync, and the team fell to 2-2. The chinks in the armor were showing, and the media pounced.
We saw a weak team. The New England Patriots, let's face it, they're not good anymore.
But they bounced back.
You know what's not good no more?
Weak team, the New England Patriots.
Your hairline, boy. Don't doubt my GOAT. Your hairline not good no more. but my GOAT is.
Let's face it, they're not good anymore.
But they bounced back. Gronk was healthy again, and Brady somehow looked like he was just reaching his prime. The Patriots rattled off 7 straight wins and ended the year 12-4. Brady finished with 4,109 yards, 33 touchdowns, and only 9 interceptions. Then, in the playoffs, he took things to the next level. In the divisional round against the Ravens, the Patriots trailed 28-14 in the third quarter, but Brady led an incredible comeback, throwing for 367 yards and 3 touchdowns, pushing New England to a 35-31 victory. Then, in the AFC Championship, the Pats steamrolled the Colts 45-7. But then, controversy struck.
The Deflategate cheating scandal that rocked the
everybody
NFL.
talked about.
Did they deflate footballs during their championship game to gain a strategic advantage?
After the game, reports surfaced that the Patriots footballs were underinflated, making it easier for the players to throw and catch.
At no time was there any intent whatsoever to try to compromise the integrity of the game or to gain an advantage.
What seemed like a minor equipment issue quickly spiraled into one of the biggest scandals in NFL history, known as Deflategate.
I would think they would actually provide the football like the refs would. You know, I didn't realize that each side had their own. I don't know. I guess I've just been out of the game that long. I thought, bro, I don't know.
At halftime, officials found that 11 of the 12 Patriots footballs were below the legal air pressure limit. But as
11?
the investigation went underway, Brady was busy playing in the Super Bowl against one of the most dominant defenses ever, the Legion of Boom. And for 3 quarters, Seattle controlled the game, taking a 24-14 lead. But when the Patriots needed him most, Brady delivered one of the greatest fourth quarters in Super Bowl history, leading back-to-back touchdown drives. Seattle still had over 2 minutes left, and they marched down the field all the way to the 1-yard line. And then the unthinkable.
They fucked that shit up. They fucked that, bro. We were just watching this, bro. This was the fucking shittiest fucking game. God damn it. I was so mad.
The Patriots were Super Bowl champs, and Tom Brady had captured his 4th Super Bowl ring. But not without drama, because in 2015, Tom Brady was supposed to serve a suspension for the Deflategate scandal, but it got overturned.
And the NFL's appeal won't stop him from playing in their first regular season game.
And Brady didn't waste his opportunity, leading the Patriots to a dominant 10-0 start. He threw for 4,700 yards, 36 touchdowns, and finished second in MVP voting, proving that at age 38, he was still among the NFL's elite quarterbacks. However, injuries to key players like Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski led the Patriots to fall short in the AFC Championship against the Broncos. But even worse, Deflategate came back to light after the NFL's $20 million investigation found that it was more probable than not that the Patriot staff intentionally deflated the balls and that Brady was generally aware. So he was forced to serve a 4-game suspension.
A federal appeals court has ruled that New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady must serve a 4-game suspension.
Which ended up being a mistake for the rest of the league, because Brady and the Patriots used the suspension as motivation, taking on an us-against-the-world mindset. Even without him for the first month of the season, the Patriots still went 3-1, behind backup quarterbacks Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett. But once Brady returned,
bro,
he played.
See, I wonder how a lot of those backup quarterbacks feel when Tom Brady's your fucking starting quarterback, because you're like, bro, I'm never fucking getting to play. I'm never going to play. But then again, you're learning from the GOAT, the greatest of all time, bro. You're learning from the GOAT.
Some of the best football of his career, throwing for 3,554 yards, 28 touchdowns, and just 2 interceptions in 12 games. The Patriots dominated their way to a 14-2 record, earning the AFC's #1 seed. Then, after steamrolling the Texans in the divisional round and blowing out the Steelers in the AFC Championship game, they were back in the Super Bowl, facing off against the high-powered Falcons. And that's when history happened, because Super Bowl 51 was supposed to be a blowout. Atlanta had jumped out to a 28-3 lead late in the third quarter, and the Patriots had no answer. But Tom Brady refused to go out like that. He picked apart the Falcons' defense, throwing for a Super Bowl record 466 yards, and led the Pats to 31 unanswered points, capping it off with a game-winning touchdown in overtime.
He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
Brady had just pulled off the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, earning his 5th ring, his 4th Super Bowl MVP, and cementing his spot amongst the greatest to ever play.
First Super Bowl I ever covered was January 18th of 1976. all these games I've seen since then, I've never seen anything like that game.
It would have been easy for Brady to call it a career then and there. He was approaching 40 years old and really had nothing more to prove. Plus, behind the scenes, a power struggle was brewing. Bill Belichick was reportedly ready to move on from Brady, favoring his hand-picked successor, Jimmy Garoppolo. But team owner Robert Kraft stepped in, refusing to trade the team's greatest player ever, which was a decision that didn't sit well with the legendary coach. Despite the tension, it provided Brady an entirely new form of motivation for the 2017 season. He led the league with 4,577 passing yards, threw 32 touchdowns, and won his third MVP award, proving that Father Time still hadn't caught up with him. The Patriots finished 13-3 and cruised through the AFC playoffs, with Brady delivering a clutch fourth-quarter comeback against the Jags in the AFC Championship, despite playing with an injured hand. In Super Bowl 52, Brady put on a historic performance, beating his previous record by throwing for a Super Bowl record 505 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Philadelphia Eagles. But his heroics weren't enough, and the Patriots fell short, losing 41-33 after a late-game strip sack by Brandon Graham that sealed the win for the Eagles. In 2018, New England wasn't as dominant as in years past, and the rest of the NFL rejoiced because it seemed as though their dynasty was finally fading. Yet the Patriots still found themselves in the playoffs. But would Brady be able to elevate his game when it mattered most? Well, if you made it this far, I think you know the answer to that question. Because Brady got in that zone again, torching the Chargers in the divisional round, then outdueling Patrick Mahomes and the high-powered Chiefs in an overtime thriller to win the AFC Championship. The Super Bowl was an ugly defensive duel, but Brady did enough to lead the Patriots to a 13-3 win over the Rams for ring number 6. This also marked the beginning of the end for Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, because things were just off the next year. The Patriots still managed to finish the 2019 season 12-4, but they weren't nearly as dominant as years past, and the tension between Bill Belichick and Brady was reaching a boiling point. So, after a wild-card round defeat at the hands of the Tennessee Titans, Brady made a decision that would shock the sports world. He was moving on, but not from football. From the Patriots. He was taking his talents to Tampa Bay. And while it may seem like a gamble to give the keys to your franchise to a 43-year-old quarterback, this is Tom Brady we're talking about.
We're going to have to work as hard as we can to see what we can become.
And he quickly turned the Buccaneers from a struggling team into Super Bowl contenders, leading them to an 11-5 regular season record.
Yeah, you don't hear about Buccaneers much, but hey, it's Tom Brady we talking about.
He was calm and composed as ever, taking down the Washington football team, New Orleans Saints, and Green Bay Packers en route to Super Bowl 55, where Brady and the Bucs dominated the Kansas City Chiefs, winning 31-9. And Brady was named Super Bowl MVP, marking his 7th ring.
Who now has more rings than any NFL franchise?
That's a GOAT. Hey, that's why LeBron's the GOAT as well. Obviously, MJ's the biggest ever, but when you go off to another team and win another one, no hater can say nothing but put respect on that name for real.
7 in 10 tries.
And proving that he wasn't just a product of Bill Belichick's system. Over the next 2 seasons...
I know Bill Belichick was salty as fuck, bro. I knew damn well Bill Belichick was salty as fuck, bro. He's probably like, fuck, god damn it.
Brady played more great football. In 2021, at 44 years old, he even surpassed the 5,000-yard mark for the second time in his...
Bro, how the fuck at 40? Holy shit, bro. I'm making up excuses. That boy 40-something throwing 5,300-some yards is crazy.
His career, and threw 43 touchdowns. But the Bucs fell short in the playoffs in each of his last 2 years, which finally led to Brady hanging up his cleats.
I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good.
But the question is, how good was Tom Brady actually? And while all his accolades with the Patriots more than support his claim as the GOAT, it's really his time with the Bucs that gave us the answer to that question. He won a Super Bowl at 43 years old and threw for over 5,000 yards at 44. That's because Brady was never the flashiest or the most physically gifted quarterback. He dominated with his mind, his precision, his unrelenting...
He's probably the smartest quarterback out there. No cap. Probably the smartest quarterback out there.
Pursuit of greatness and a clutch gene that we'll likely never see again. He was an incredible leader who spearheaded the greatest dynasty in history, then went and turned another team into a Super Bowl contender overnight. He has all the records, sure. 89,214 career passing yards,
Damn.
649 touchdown passes.
Bro, one day there's gonna be a fucking guy that's gonna hit 100,000 fucking. That'd be crazy.
Pro Bowl appearances, to name a few. And of course, he's the greatest winner ever, with 35 playoff wins, 14 of which were game-winning drives, 7 Super Bowl rings, and 5 Super Bowl MVPs. But it's the moments that truly make Tom Brady the greatest to ever touch a football. He dominated the NFL for over 2 decades and gave fans enough memories to last a lifetime. If you enjoyed this video, stick with Blitz, subscribe, and check out
W video, hey chat. Listen, today was like a football special. That's like peak weekend vibes, bro. Peak weekend vibes for real, bro. I'm telling y'all, that was a dubberoni. That was a special one right there. Cause bro, I forget how great Tom Brady for real was. There's a lot of people that be hating on Tom Brady, and I'm not gonna lie, bro. I get it, but also, bro, that's the GOAT. That's the GOAT. I don't know why people be hating on Tom Brady like that, but that's the GOAT. So if you like the fucking video, hit the follow button, hit the notifications, because look, how you really know I'm online unless you hit the notifications. So I hope, you enjoyed the vibes, because I really did. I really did. So until next time, get some hydration on the way, and, take care of yourself.